So yeah, man, it's great to finally talk to you. I know it's kind of rough with the schedules, but like I said, at the end of the day, as long as we sit down and talk to each other, that's what really matters. So
Likewise, brother. Thank you for having me on.
for sure, man. So you're a realtor in New Jersey, right?
Yes.
Cool. So before we even start talking about real estate and becoming a realtor, now what type of person are you? Were you always like an entrepreneurial sort of person? Did you love the real estate business? Like what type of person were you in, say, like high school?
Yeah, and also for the longest time I was I guess an introvert where I surrounded myself around my family, very few close friends. And I was a hockey player. I played hockey all my life. So that's all I knew, right? It was just hockey, friends, family, and that's about it. Never really had a direction or a purpose, I guess, quote unquote purpose in life, because I identified as to who I am. All I knew is that I wanted to become something. I wanted to have some sort of name in this world. Thought it was going to be through hockey until I realized I got injured and started just failing left and right. So it was not my calling, obviously. But yeah, that was the type of person I was, is just very introverted to myself. I did as society accepted it, right? So you go to school, you go to work, and things of that sort, until I realized that wasn't for me. It wasn't my cup of tea. I had to figure out something else. I had to be different. I had to be unique. So that's kind of who I am, who I was.
Did you have the ambition of playing college hockey, even professional hockey?
Yeah, definitely. I started at age 3, I think, and
Damn.
I mean anyone who starts at a young age is bound to be somewhat good in this life and anything that they do and they set their desires to. So that was hockey for me, and I tried it out and tried to figure out if it was for me. But slowly but surely, I realized that it's something that my parents always wanted me to do. I realized it was something I was very good at, but was I passionate about it? I found out in college that I wasn't. So after I was recruited, after I was playing and traveling this world, I guess, a little bit, playing some hockey, I realized it wasn't for me. I was good at it, but I was not passionate about it. So I
But
had to figure out what my passions were.
do you think you weren't passionate about it because of like the practices, lifting? If you were to play pickup hockey, for example, you'd probably love it. But the fact that you have to probably get up at 5 a.m. in the morning to lift weights, skate, go to class, then do it again every day, it's really like, it takes a toll. And
Yes,
was that the
100%.
aspect of why it took the passion away from you? Did it feel more of a job rather than like a hobby, something that you really love playing, even watching?
Yeah, I know you said it best, right there. Seriously, I went to college. I was recruited for the ice hockey team, and it became a job. All right, all of a sudden it became a job, something I have to do because I was signed to do it, and I wasn't really looking for something of that sort. And I never understood that aspect of hockey before too, where I always played it as for fun, and then all of a
Mm-hmm.
sudden I do it because if I don't, well then we're gonna run into some issues. That was weird to me, So it's all right. It's a blessing in disguise, is what I like to call it. Then I got injured, my shoulder, and that's when life just set sails a different direction, my friend. We're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
We're good.
I feel the transition of like, not playing hockey, thinking that it was like your actual passion to finding other passions is one of the hardest things because even people our age, people who are even older, it's hard for them to find a passion and build something around that. And I genuinely think that that's the best thing to do. Find something that you love, find something that you're passionate about, and create a lifestyle around that, a business around that. So what were like your next steps in finding your passions?
I started to realize what my heart actually liked and what did I do in life that made my heart smile. I had to realize what was actually feeling good inside, and that was music. That was my answer, was music. So I got into DJing, music production, and all that stuff. And that was a huge passion of mine that I opened up a can of worms at that point. I discovered branding. I discovered social media. I discovered marketing. I discovered becoming a brand and an entity and trying to get more exposure and traffic to sell. And I kind of opened up all the stuff that music needs, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's when music led me to social media, led me to branding, led me to the next endeavor and the next stepping stone. But I really purposely think that figuring out what your passion is in life, you have to figure out what that is in order to really push forward for the direction that you really want to at the end of the day. And for me, the first stepping stone was music. Big time. Big time.
Wait, you said you were a DJ?
Yeah.
So did you like host like any parties, or were you invited to parties and just played?
Yeah, for the most part, I was, I was DJing at this local bar. They were paying me every Friday night to come and spin a little bit, and that was fun. That was a fun part of my life. But it was fun to do. It was really intriguing. But again, like I said, it was a stepping stone. It made me realize I don't want to do that, but there are other endeavors and other aspects to it that kind of unlocked while I got into music.
Yeah.
Because I needed exposure. I needed to get my music out there somehow. What better way than social media? That's
Hmm.
when I unlocked social media and started figuring out how to get more exposure and this and that. And that it kind of led me into what I'm doing today, right? So, yeah.
So moving up the ladder, you started with hockey. You figured out that it wasn't your passion because it felt like a job. You got injured, unfortunately. And then you got a taste into like the music industry, DJing, and from that you went on to social media. Now, what was it about social media that you genuinely liked? Was it about like the branding, the marketing, or the action?
It
What was it?
was. Yeah, no, it was the branding side of things. It was knowing that you can figure out how to get out there to more masses, more audiences for free, cost efficiently, right? Social media has that power to do so. So as long as you reach out to the right people, the right traffic, engage, create content. I loved all that stuff because that's what social media was entailing you to do. If you want to blow up, if you want that exposure, you got to do this, you got to do that. So I
Hmm.
started figuring out how can I grow more. So it was all about content creation. And I'm a creative kind of guy, right? I like that painting that you got behind you. Like that's
Oh.
my mind every day, right? That's my mind. It's just colors. It's red, green, yellow, blue. It's like, how can I get things together and how can I brand it so it's attractive to the human eye for people to want more of it from me? So that's content creation, right? I love that stuff. So that's kind of what intrigued me with social media is doing
Hmm.
that stuff, but more so connecting, engaging, building, scaling, things like that, which have helped me so much. So now I'm training others how to do the same thing. Grow on
Hmm.
social media, expose yourself, create content. Here's how to do it, and so on and so forth.
So do you see social media as like a canvas, and you just have your creativity, your paintings that kind of portray yourself, your personal brand?
100%. It's a canvas. It's a canvas to expose yourself, but it's also a photo album, right? This is
Hmm.
you're documenting your life, and this is a nice place to put your pictures and your memories on of things that you want to remember later on down the line. I'm excited to look back on my Instagram maybe 20, 30 years from now and just be like, damn, I was such a silly boy when I was like 18. Wow, look at me at 20. Still stupid. 26. Wow, I started my own business. Wow, 30. And I don't know what else. Right. So I look at it that way. It's a cool place to market yourself, brand yourself, and document your journey.
Yeah, because on your Instagram, you have like a lot of content. It kind of seems like you're like a media company that people are just posting, like you have a team of people just posting content, and it's crazy. You're putting in that work, and I think going into real estate now is definitely a big move because I think with real estate, everything's visual, and as long as you have that aspect and you have your canvas to portray your personal brand, because I think as a realtor, a real estate agent, you can be the best salesman in the world. But from what I hear, like a lot of it is human interaction. And the best way to expose people of who you are is through social media because so many, our lives are connected to social media nowadays.
Of course, we wake up in the morning and that's the first thing that we do. More than likely, is social media.
Yeah.
So my point is, if we're going to be understanding that that's life, then we should take advantage of that and be out there as much as we possibly can. So that's why it's important to have a personal brand. This is all indirect selling, right? That's what
Oh,
it all
yeah.
comes down to at the end of the day is your social media presence is all about indirectly selling and marketing and branding yourself to the public, which is will buy into your brand, buy into your products, your services, whatever you're selling, right? They are going to do that because they see you on a daily basis.
Mm-hmm.
People wake up in the morning. I personally don't think that they go and check out what Nike's doing. I don't think they wake up and see what Toyota is up to or what Skechers are doing. I have no idea, right? These companies, they're companies. But personal brands are what people are really interested in. We wake up in the morning and we see Gary Vee posting something inspirational. We wake up in the morning and see Lewis Howes, Grant Cardone, Ty Lopez, you name it, that person is doing something interesting, but it's always a person, right? So why can't we be that person to someone else? Someone wakes up in the morning and they see their phone and they look, oh, wow, look, it's Andre. It's Tom, it's Ed, it's John. And I look up to that person. Why can't we do that? And then indirectly sell to them when they wake up in the morning anyway. Look,
Yeah.
guys, you know, it's a great day to be great today. You know, maybe you should invest into my course or do something of that sort. That's just kind of indirectly selling yourself, because you're exposing yourself on a daily basis in an indirect way. That's my point, is you want to make sure you post yourself every day. It'll bring you the exposure and the love that you're looking for. It will, but you got to be consistent with it.
Now, you said you were an introvert. Now, there's only like two aspects to this, where you're an introvert and you have social media, where it's like the complete and opposite spectrum of being an introverted person, because you want to shy away from people, not show your face. But of course, on social media, with the amount of content that you're posting, it shows that you're more of an extrovert. And I do believe, in my experience, just to be selfish a bit, when you have like two, say you have creativity and you're an introvert, and when you have two colliding ideas, the bigger one's going to win. So if you're just a creative person and you want to express yourself that way, and it has to overcome your introvertness, then that's the way it is. So was that the case in your point, where you were so creative, you wanted to use and leverage social media to have your personal brand be more exposed, and so that way your introvertness was kind of, blocked, because you wanted to portray yourself on social media with creativity?
In the beginning, I was an introvert. And for the longest time, I was an introvert, until I realized the power of social media that it can give you. And my point of being on social media was not to just gain a following, not to gain fame or publicity. That's one aspect. I looked at it as a vehicle to get me free traffic, free marketing, free branding, and sell something to them at one point. So that's what my goal was, to get onto social media. So I realized I cannot be an introvert if I'm trying to do that. So I have to become an extrovert. So I did. I pushed myself outside of my comfort zone. And over the years, I never spoke like this before. Never, never. This is not me, ever. I was very shy, very inconfident, insecure. I didn't know how I was going to sound or look like, or, my face is not right, or I was worried about this stuff. But now it's just like, I know what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm going to say. And I know I'm going to sell this or pitch this or speak my words, because they just flow naturally out of me and my heart. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Introverts don't do that. They're quiet to themselves. Maybe they'll say something, but I know as an extrovert, that's the only way to get to my goal, which is to blow up online, get that exposure, get that free traffic, and so on. So yeah.
So, okay, now after DJing, after music, how did you get into real estate?
So once I got into the real estate game, I mean, that really pushed me. Once I was on social media and I saw one of my hockey colleagues, right? Him and I were always rivals. We never liked each other. And one day I said, you know what? Enemies aside, let's put that all to the side. I saw his picture, his profile picture. He looked dapper, man. He was professionally dressed up from head to toe. And I was like, what do you do for a living? He's like, real estate. I was like, no way. Like, you look phenomenal. If I can dress like that on a daily basis and say that's work, I'm for it. So I got into real estate because of that small reason. And then everything around me just kind of started pointing and opening doors up. And everything was like real estate, real estate, real estate. I was at the store the very next week. And I was at getting a suit, because I'm going to become a realtor. The guy that was like looking at all the racks and the suits, I came up to him. I'm like, hey, can you help me out finding a suit? He was like, oh, no, I'm a realtor. I don't work here. And his name happened to be Ed too. And I'm like,
the stars
So
align.
we started chatting a little bit, and he kind of opened up my mind to more of the spectrum of real estate that I never really heard about. So I was like, okay, cool. I think real estate is definitely a good calling for me. That's when I got into real estate, after social media, after the music, after the marketing and branding and everything else that I was doing. And then I got into real estate to sell houses and look good. And then when I did that, I started realizing that there's a bigger problem in real estate. Social media. Realtors do not use social media enough or the right way. So I was like, why can I not take my knowledge of what I've been using and learning every day for the past 8 years plus? Why can't I just put it into the knowledge and train others on the same thing that I'm doing now? But before I did that, I had to realize if it even works. So I got into real estate, started putting my 2 and 2 together to see if my social media tips and tricks work for myself, and they did. And I said, all right, time to start training. So I started training. I got my first client. Was a broker at Remax. He reached out to me. He's like, teach me your stuff. And I was like, all right. It was my first student ever. I didn't know what to charge him. I'm like, what do I do? I don't know. I asked my friends. They're like, we don't know. So I'm like, all right, $150. I'll teach you everything I know. He's like, deal. Like, all right, payday. So I went and I taught him. And that's when I realized that, yeah, this is in demand. People need to learn this stuff that they do not know. And I know a lot. So might as well teach them. So, yeah, that's kind of the back end as to how I got into real estate and why I even got into it.
Wait, how long did it take you from that moment of talking to your ex-rival and going into full-fledged, going into real estate and getting your real estate license? How long did that take? How many months or years? I don't know.
I would say a year and a half, 2 years. Yeah,
Okay.
something of that sort. Yeah, because I kept failing tests. I kept trying, and I kept failing and failing. It took me 6 tests to finally pass. So it was discouraging, oh God, it was a lot. But yeah, about a year and a half to 2 years.
Now, what was harder, taking the exam or getting your first couple clients?
I would say the exam.
Really?
Yeah, the exam was a pain in the ass. I'm not a test taker. I suck at tests. Talking to people, that's more of my thing now. So I'll get leads. That's no issue. I'll speak with them. I'll show them houses. I'll do that stuff. That's cool. Test taking, I suck at it. I hate it. Not my thing.
So who was there for you to get your first sort of clients? Like when I talk to other real estate agents, it's kind of, I get the perception of like you're thrown in a deep end and you have to sink or swim. You have resources, you have tools, but you have to learn how to utilize that properly to get your first couple clients. And like, I don't know how long it took you to get your first couple clients.
It took me about 6-7 months to get my first deal done. And that was my parents' investment property. So they gave it to me to sell. I had no idea what I was doing. I kind of just went off of my broker's guidance and I worked with it, right? But I was, again, thrown into the deep end. I had to work with that for the longest time. Most of us do. Most realtors do. It's not one of those industries where you dive into there and someone holds your hand, unless you work with the right people, unless you work with the right brokerage and mentor. Sure, they'll teach you. They'll take a cut from your stuff and your sales, but they'll teach you that stuff. In the beginning, I was just a solo agent. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know what real estate had to offer. So in the beginning, yeah, I was thrown into the deep end too. Absolutely.
And when did things click for you?
Maybe 2 years ago. I'm in the business now for 5 years. It took some time for them to click because I found the right brokerage, the right mentor, right? It takes mentorship to really cut the learning curve and have things make sense. So things didn't make sense for the longest time because I was teaching them myself. I was going off of videos and YouTube videos online and kind of looking from others' experiences and trial and errors and learning from their mistakes. I mean, there's only so much and so far I can go from that, right? Until I actually get someone that actually cares about what you do. And then I found that person and he helped me out. I'm with him until today, right? So that's kind of what it comes down to. And that would be my best piece of advice if anyone is listening, right? Is going to be, make sure you find mentorship. Find that proper mentorship. You need it. Absolutely.
And how did you find your mentor?
He found me.
Really?
Yeah, online. Saw the stuff I was doing online and kind of gave me a really pretty good offer. And I couldn't say no to it. And in the back of my mind, I was like, it's about time someone offered me something like this. So thank you for acknowledging it. Let's start this. And we did.
So wait, during that time, you were going heavy on social media?
Yes.
We're like, okay, so you were in the game real estate for 5 years. Now, how many years were you heavy on the content on social media?
Since 2012.
Wow. So
yeah. So 2012, I got into social media. 2016-ish, I kind of got into real estate. So let's say 4 years I'm into real estate. And that's when I kind of got really heavy into creating real estate content. So I never knew I was going to be doing real estate content. It was always general content, entrepreneurship, that. Never knew what it was going to be until I realized it's real estate. So 2016, so 4 years ago, it took me to realize I need to start creating content about real estate. And that's when it started growing. And all of a sudden, I went from 8,700 followers to 40, whatever it is now, 42,000. So it took some time, and it's still growing. It's gradual growth. I believe in gradual growth versus overnight success, big time.
For sure. Wait, so did Instagram come out 2012 or 2014?
Probably 2010, I think.
Oh, 2010. But when did it become hot? Or wasn't it an instant success?
Nah, I think it was like 2012, 13-ish. It started becoming a thing. Yeah, that's when I kind of got into it. And it was a thing in 2011 even, but it wasn't that popular. You know, it was still Facebook. It was, I don't even know where MySpace was at that time. I think it was nowhere near it. I really don't know. But no, I got into Instagram in pretty early stages and just tried to figure out the algorithms, the tips and tricks, the stuff that actually works to get followers, get leads, get this, get that. Took some time. Obviously, 8 years later, here we are, you know, so it takes time.
Yeah, it's really cool that you use like Instagram from the get-go. I'm trying to think back, like when did I download Instagram? I can just remember using MySpace and Facebook kind of for the first time, but Instagram, I was like, what? Wait, hold up. Like, when did I download that? I completely forgot. But I just think that Instagram, its trajectory just skyrocketed. Like, I know it's like a different app in the beginning. It wasn't supposed to be a social media app. I think it was just a photo editing app. And then it turned to social media. And that's why, like, over a short period of time, the amount of users just skyrocketed. And,
totally.
And if you're one of the first movers, kind of like if you're the first user in TikTok, the organic reach is crazy. Now it's just more difficult unless you do paid advertisements.
Yep, pay to play.
Oh, yeah, that's what they say. Okay, so it took you, so after you found your mentor, what sort of principles did he teach you to become a better realtor?
The biggest thing I would say is, expectations. Don't expect anything. Don't expect sales to go through. Don't expect sales to come every day. Don't expect people to want to work with you. Don't expect. No expectations, right? Big expectations, big disappointment, right? So I didn't want to be disappointed at any time. So I'm working on a deal right now that I've been working on for almost 3 months, and closing was supposed to happen Wednesday, right? And now closing is supposed to happen tomorrow. Yet nothing is decided, nothing is determined, and now I'm just starting to realize that we actually might not even get the sale day before closing. That is something, right? Now, when I've been working my tail off for the past 3 months, now you tell me I'm not supposed to get my money. So like, that sucks. And it happens in real estate. It does. And we don't get paid salary. No, none of that, right? It's commission based. So now we're waiting on that sale to go through for you to get your paycheck, which might not now come. So if I were to expect to get paid right from the first offer that we made, that would suck right now. But I'm mentally prepared at all times that it might not go through and I might not get paid. Am I going to be disappointed? Yeah. But am I going to be cool with it? Yeah. Probably an hour later. But I'll be cool with it.
Yeah.
Right?
I think, if you have that perspective, that mindset, and because your income was mainly commissioned, and if you work 3-4 months and you're expecting that juicy commission and you don't get it, I can see why people might be extremely anxious. They might even be like sad and depressed. But if you have that mindset of like, oh, I shouldn't expect anything. If the deal goes through, it goes through. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I think that's really important. And I mean, you definitely need a strong mindset for that, because I can only imagine working your tail off for 3 months and, not getting, the compensation that you deserve. Right.
That's right.
And I do think, like, long term, if you're just so anxious and this happens, frequently, I feel like your process of doing business can be rushed, and maybe your clients can kind of sense that, and it all goes downhill.
It can happen. Absolutely.
Okay. So don't expect things, let things be. So before that, were you sort of like an antsy person? Did you want things almost right away?
Yeah, definitely, for sure. That temporary satisfaction is always nice. Even today, right? I mean, our attention spans are getting shorter and shorter by the minute. We want things fast. We want temporary satisfaction. We want it now. Still happens, but you got to overcome that and understand it doesn't come that fast, right? It takes time. You got to find the right mindset. You're right about that, for sure.
So that's a core principle. Now, in terms of tactics, tools, strategies, and getting like clients, getting leads, did your mentor play a bigger role on that, or is it just more the philosophy of things?
That I learned on my own. That is something that no one really teaches me anymore nowadays. I teach myself. I look at others. I see what others are doing. They're if they're doing it the right way, the wrong way. There's a lot of mentors out there about social media and coaching and all this stuff. I learn from there if I don't know something. But for the most part, people look up to me as the expert. I got to make sure that I bring that hat to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to make sure that I teach them. So I got to know this stuff on a daily basis of what's going on. So like tips and tricks, making sure you're posting every day, post on Instagram story 5 times a day, make sure that your little bubble on other people's phones is constantly popping up there. You want to make sure people see your name, see your name, see your face, see your name, see your face every day if you can. That is indirect selling. That is indirect marketing. That's how
Mm-hmm.
people are able to know you more and more and remember you. Now they think real estate, they think you. Posting every day on Instagram, it's a must. I know people don't want to do it. People hear every day on Instagram, oh my God, I don't want to do that. Kind of gotta. If you don't want to spend too much money, do it that way. It's cost efficient. It's the cost efficient route for the newbie realtor listening, or maybe for the seasoned veteran that's in the game for 51 years. Doesn't matter. You got to be on social media. You got to post on there. It helps. So
Mm-hmm.
posting every day, stuff like that.
I do believe that in the beginning, when you don't have a large social media following, it is going to be more difficult, more challenging to get indirect sales. You know, people looking at your social media and be like, hey, I want to meet this guy. I want to do business with him. I want to buy a home from him. Um, but if you have a small social media following, you have to rely either through referrals. So I know your first couple of clients is going to be extremely, extremely difficult. But once you get your first couple of clients, and I think, you know, the referrals start coming in, things will be a lot easier. Or you can use tools, tactics, strategies to get leads. Now, down the line, you could, like I said, focus on indirect sales. But in the beginning, you do have to focus on referrals, right?
Absolutely. Well, in the beginning, you can focus on referrals. However, I want to go kind of against what you're saying, because you're saying that if you have a small following, you're not going to be getting too much of that indirect sales.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily. Some people might have a following of 300, but 300 so dedicated and such dedicated followers to you that they will go ahead and refer, for example, or maybe think of them their own to sell or buy or something of that sort. And they'll think of you because they love you for who you are. Some people's 300 followers could be stronger than someone's 100,000 followers. That's the truth. You never know. As long as your community is real and true and organic, and they love you,
Mm-hmm.
and you should be golden. But you got to make sure that you're giving them why they follow you. You got to make sure you're giving them what they intentionally followed you for. They followed you for a reason. Make sure you're giving it to them on a daily basis. And if you can't, as much as you possibly can. So if you're posting value, make sure you do it every day. If you're educating, make sure you're doing it every day. If you're entertaining, doing something funny, doing something comedic, whatever, make sure you're doing it every day, because they can click that unfollow button very fast. You don't want them to do that.
Mm-hmm. So for anyone listening, you shouldn't be discouraged if you have 100 followers on Instagram, because like you said, 100 followers, you know, it can lead to a lot of business depending on how strong your community is, right?
Yes,
And that,
100%.
yeah, I think that can go across any industry, not just real estate. You know, it can go
That's
for
right. Any
e-commerce.
industry you're in, 50 followers, 100, 200, 500, doesn't matter how small or big the following is. Make sure they're real and true to you. And that's how they slowly start to grow. All these people are season ticket holders to you, right? They love your stuff. They're going to go ahead and pay hundreds and thousands of dollars in views and time, right? Monetary value on social media is likes, views, comments, shares. You want to make sure that you get that stuff. And they will give it to you if you're giving them what they followed you for in the first place. So you got to make sure that you grow that community and bigger and better. They will share your stuff because they love you. They will like your stuff because they love you. But you got to give them a reason to love you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it comes down to, and that's where a lot of people mess up.
Now, was there an inflection point in your real estate career where things were going linear, you know, getting clients here and there, but was there a moment in time where, you know, there was just a snowball effect of the amount of clients you've gotten over time, or is it really just scattered? Is that how it is as a realtor?
To me, it's scattered, but it shouldn't be, right? I'm no realtor expert. I'm a expert in social media and branding. I love that stuff, but I'm no expert in real estate itself. I can't teach you everything about becoming a realtor. Some realtors that are seasoned for 51 years, as I mentioned before, don't know everything about real estate. It's what it is. It's that type of game. There's so much to learn. Like this last deal that I'm working on, I had no idea that something like that can happen, and it just happened, right? There's always surprises in this industry, but nonetheless, you want to make sure that you're still pushing forward for what you're looking to do at the end of the day. But honestly, with real estate, it's scattered at the moment. It is.
Okay.
Should it be? Shouldn't be. But slowly but surely, you start to kind of format your own system. And once you figure out your own system, then it starts to gradually grow slowly but surely. But it can't be like this, right? This is the roller coaster effect. You can't have a roller coaster effect as a realtor. It sucks. Sometimes you'll sell, sometimes you won't. Sometimes you sell, sometimes you won't. It needs to be sell, 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 constantly selling until you format and kind of configure that system. So right now, most of the time it's scattered. Yeah, you'll hear some realtors, oh, business is great. Oh, business sucks. Oh, business is great. Oh, business sucks. Can't be scattered, but it is. So you got to figure out your own strategy to making sure that even the current leads that you have, the current clients, the past clients, all these people need to be in a funnel, in a circle, in a mailing list. They need to be followed up with, right? This is the system I'm talking about. How do you not lose that past client that you just sold a house to? I forgot what the percentage was. It's like 86% of people that use realtors forget their realtor names after the transaction. That sucks. Shouldn't be like that, but it is.
Yeah, I think yeah, sometimes people are just in it for the monetary value. And I read this book. I think it was the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. And there's a case study of like this one guy. He was a salesman at a car dealership, right? And this was back in the day, I think like 1960s. And he was regarded as the best salesman in the world. The reason was, back in those days, there was no email, no phones, no nothing like that, right? Just letters and stuff. And the story goes is after each person bought a car, they'll have their name, their address and whatnot. And whenever it was their birthday, Thanksgiving, Christmas, whatever holiday, he would just send them letters with the signature, handwritten letters to all those people. And because his clients, his customers felt that, that humanistic like connection, not just a salesman, but more of like a human being that cares about him or her, they started giving him more referrals, and things kind of just went exponential because, he got more customers, sent them more love through letters whenever it was his birthday. And, he got literally like an order of magnitude of more sales than any other seller in a car dealership back in those times.
That's right. It happens. Got to figure out your system and then stick with it.
Now, talking about the tactics on posting content on social media, what sort of content do you think resonates more with people in terms of like real estate, like to maybe entice a potential lead or to get more engagement?
Things that people can relate to, right? There's top 5 things that I always see that sell online: education, entertainment, sex, babies, animals. These things sell phenomenally well online, from what I realize. So if you can give content that people can relate to, people will go ahead and engage. So you got to figure out what your people want to engage with. You have to ask your community, ask your followers, guys, what do you want me to post? What do you expect out of me, for my brand, for my content that I've been posting? What do you expect more of? What do you want more of? Right? A/B split test. A/B split testing is so important. Post this way, post this that way. Post the same picture black and white, post the same picture colorful. Which one is doing better? And then you realize which one is getting more engagement and stick to that one.
So obviously I know nothing about being a realtor, a real estate agent, but I'm just imagining a picture. If I'm like a new realtor and I'm sitting in my desk, and the way I would think that you can potentially get leads on social media is you go to an open house, right? Fair game for anyone. And you see, you go to the house, the apartment, and you start filming on your camera, making cool content on TikTok or Instagram, and you start posting it. And then from there, we'll see if you get indirect leads, right? However, I know there's a lot more to that in getting leads. What's kind of your process of getting leads, both indirectly and through other tools and strategies?
Reaching out to people. My strength is social media. I go on social media and I connect with people. I DM them. I engage with them. I give them what they ask for. right? There's a kid that reaches out to me. Oh, the latest story, I'll share this. He reaches out to me. It's like, Ed, love your stuff. I said, thank you so much. Anything I can do to help out, let me know. Immediately he DMs me back. Oh, Ed, what's like the latest algorithm? I'm like, okay. So I start talking to him. I give it to him. And he DMs me back. He's like, okay, cool. And I have another question. Damn, all right. I guess I fell into this one. So what am I going to do? Go against my word? I'm not going to be a hypocrite. So I just clicked that video call and I called him. And I video FaceTimed him right on Instagram. I didn't know who he was. If he picked up, great. If he didn't, okay, well, you're lost. Because I got some stuff to share. And I was just getting ready to go out. But I have some time. So he picked up. We started chatting. And you know what? I didn't expect anything from him. I wasn't expecting a sale or a referral, anything of that sort. And I still didn't get it till today. And I'm not expecting it at all. But that's the investment that I'll make into my community is I'll give them what they look for. And one day maybe he will surprise me. He'll say, you know what, you were that kid that, helped me out that one day randomly. So I want to make sure I give you the love that you gave me. That's what I look for. That's all I can hope for. But I don't expect it, right? Talking about the first lesson. I don't expect anything. So it's engaging with people like that. Being personable, showing them that I actually care. I don't care how many followers I have. I'm going to reach out to you personally. No one else is going to do it for me. And that's how people all of a sudden feel that personal touch with me, right? Just like sending out a written postcard, just like that guy did, that car salesman, I do it with videos. I'll send a video message or an audio message. And people will be like, wow, that's so amazing of you. I just spoke at an event yesterday, right? Spoke at an event, in-person event, for the first one, first time since COVID began. And I was at this event. I spoke to about like 20 people maybe. And this one girl reached out to me and she was like, Ed, love your stuff. Thanks so much for teaching us tonight. And I sent her a video message and she was completely baffled. She's like, wow, that was so amazing. Isn't it amazing? Like, I guess people love it because she was not the first person that has ever said that. So I know if people love video messages, I will hit them every single day with it. Again, regardless if you have 100 followers or 50,000 followers or 100,000, it doesn't matter. Engage with people, be personable with them. That is one of my best ways that I get leads.
Yeah, I think people nowadays, they want to see, the numbers in terms of a return on investment. Obviously, you can't measure a return on investment on like good karma, right? And
No, that's right.
that's the thing. People want to see measurable results, but with your actions, it's virtually impossible. But over time, I certainly believe in good karma. And I do think that if you take that approach, only good things will happen in your business. Will only get better.
100%, brother. 100%.
So in terms of being a content creator, especially at the magnitude that you're doing it right now, what sort of tools did you use? Like, for example, Adobe Premiere, Final Cut Pro. Do you think it's almost essential for now a realtor, a real estate agent to learn these tools?
Yeah, no, you want to know tools, but you don't have to dive into things that you don't know about. Hire it out, delegate, right? I always believe in delegation. But one tool that I've always used is Canva. I love Canva. I tell everyone to use Canva. It's Photoshop for dummies, how I describe it. Canva is a great platform to create content on, and you want to make sure that you know how to use it. It's free after all, too. So yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know you spoke at events. How many events have you been to?
Good question. I don't even know.
Too many
Maybe.
to count?
Yeah, it's getting there. Last year was kind of my first year that I actually started speaking, and started getting paid for speaking and traveling the world and speaking, which is something I've always wanted to do.
Wow.
So it's very pleasing and humbling to say that I can do that now. And next week going to New York, in October going to Florida, November Indiana. So I'm traveling a little bit, which I'm excited for. But I want to say overall maybe 30, 40 plus so far, something of that sort. So I'm excited. It's growing. It's a growing number.
And do you remember the first time when you spoke?
Yeah, I was in Puerto Rico. Yeah, I was invited to come
What
out
year?
to Puerto Rico to 2018, I think, end of 2018, something of that sort. Yeah. So that was my first event that I ever spoke at. Didn't know what to say, didn't know how to say it, but I did it and it felt amazing. And so from there on out, I said, I know I have to speak from here on out. So yeah.
And do you think that was a byproduct of you being so consistent on social media?
100%, definitely. Everything is a stepping stone. Byproduct, another good word, yeah.
So even if you were like the best realtor like you're in New Jersey right now, right?
Hmm.
So even if you were the best realtor in New Jersey, you think it would have been really hard to still get that talk. But the fact that you built a personal brand, especially around real estate, that gave you more exposure and the opportunity, bless you,
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
bless you, it gave you the opportunity to go to these conferences and events.
100%. Yeah, definitely. These things always help out. The everything that real estate or social media has ever given to me, these events, they all help out. I mean, every time I go to an event, I get more followers. Every time that I go and sell a house or list a house, I tell them, out of these followers that I have, these are all realtors. These people have buyers for your house. Right. Every time I go to help a buyer out, I have exposure. I have other realtors that have houses. Right. It's like I use it all to my benefit. Take advantage of it all. Yeah.
And I don't know what the demographic is or how it looks like for real estate. Um, I would think that the demographic is a lot younger now, but um, from what I'm imagining in my head, maybe when you first got in, it was more towards like the older, maybe mid 40s demographic, and maybe they're not so tech savvy in terms of social media, but because we are more like millennials, Gen Z, going into real estate, we're kind of born with that sort of those tools in our hands. Now, did you think that kind of gave you that added advantage of going into real estate, even though you didn't have that exact experience, that know-how ever since you got your mentor, however, but you had the advantage of using the internet to its full potential?
Yeah, no, of course. Listen, social media, internet, everything it has to offer, you have to take advantage of at the end of the day. Those that are open-minded to it, those who are willing to adapt, those are the ones that will win at the end of the day. I've had people that have told me social media is never going to work for you. I've had those that have said social media will absolutely work for you. You're going to get both, best of both worlds. Both are blessings. You have to look at the ones that don't look at it as a blessing and the ones that do look at it as a blessing. Take them both for don't take them for both for granted. Take them and take advantage of understanding that there's less competition on that end because they don't believe it, and there is more competition on that end because they do believe it and will be willing to learn from you too. So
Mm-hmm.
internet is something you have to you can't take for granted.
Mm-hmm. Now, shifting our focus to TikTok. Now, you said 42,000 followers on Instagram, and that's a big number, right? It's a large amount of followers. And starting from ground zero once again on TikTok might be hard, but now I'm thinking that if you have 5 followers, 100 followers, doesn't matter as long as your community is strong. Now, when you shifted some of your attention, or maybe all your attention, to TikTok, you had that same mindset, all right? Like, you'll be happy with just 100 followers. You don't need 50,000 followers to get indirect leads, right?
Yep, definitely. TikTok is another platform. So much I can talk about on TikTok. It's a platform that people should not take for granted either. It's a lot of organic traffic is on there right now, and people should take advantage of it. Don't take it for granted. Seriously, do not. I can't say it enough. Get on there, post content, make videos.
Mm-hmm. I think the pessimistic thinker they might say, there's 10 to 15-year-olds using TikTok. What are they going to do? They can't buy a home. They can't invest in that sort of stuff. But you get to learn that actually the demographic is more, everyone's using TikTok nowadays. So you can really still market and show content based around that demographic, right?
Of course, these are your future buyers and sellers. These are your future everything. Get them to know you now.
Mm-hmm. So when did you hop on TikTok?
A year ago, March 2019. Tested it out, tested just to see if it's worth it or was it a waste of time. I posted 2 videos, 3 videos. I got nothing. I posted 4 videos and I got 67,000 views. Why? I don't know. I had 2 followers. How did I get those views? I don't know, but it triggered something, and I said, all right, I need to take advantage of it more. I need to dissect it and learn it so I know why I got those 67,000 views and where they came from. So learned a little bit of TikTok, just grew my following to 10,000, almost 11,000 followers now on TikTok. And that's growing too. I'm starting to realize how that works. And there's so much on TikTok.
Mm-hmm. And just reiterating what we're saying, of course, you're heavy on social media, and you also have your own platform where you do real estate and social media coaching, right? Kind of
Yep.
intertwining both of them, right?
Yep. So I coach realtors worldwide on social media and branding, igrecoaching.com. It's a platform that I've built over the past year and a half just to create videos and share my knowledge to realtors that are willing to learn how to grow their social media presence. So yeah.
And how did that idea come about?
Just naturally seeing what people want, that demand from from the realtors and followers that wanted more info from me. I said I just got to create something and give it to them. So I thought video course would be the best thing. So I did it.
I think that's definitely a good idea. Just having, just another, not a gig, but another project to provide yet more value, not only through social media. And I keep on saying this, but you can't be at the mercy of like a platform. TikTok might be banned, the organic reach on Instagram. Luckily, you started a lot earlier to help build your personal brand, but now you have to pay to play, like you said, right?
Definitely.
That's why it's maybe that more important to start on TikTok now. But now that you have like your own website, your own domain, you can really do whatever you want. And it's kind of just your world and your full responsibility of, making that site as best as possible and providing as much value as
For
possible.
sure. For
Mm-hmm.
sure, man. But no, man, listen, I appreciate this so much. I'm glad that I could share with you and share with the listeners that are watching and listening to this. I definitely wanted to share a little bit of my knowledge and value. But yeah, man, by all means, thank you. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for having me. I do have to run. I have another call that I have to get onto.
For sure,
But
man.
nonetheless, man, I appreciate your time. Anything I can do to help you out or your following, you let me know.
For sure. I really appreciate you being here, man. All right.
Of course, man. Thank you so much.
All right, man. Take care. All right.
All right. Talk soon.
Talk soon, man.